Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So one common question that I see being asked everywhere is what makes an activity or toy a Montessori one? Today we'll go through a few characteristics of a Montessori activity and look at what exactly makes an activity Montessori. Montessori materials are autodidactic or aimed at auto-education, which means the materials have characteristics that let the child teach himself or herself. The only duty of the adult is to get the child in touch with the materials and demonstrate to the child how it works. The child then uses his or her own experiences to come to conclusions. The object of the material is for the child to learn by exploration. One important feature that enables this kind of self-education and greatly helps build independence is the control of error in the Montessori materials. In other words, the activities are self-correcting. That is, the child will know by himself if he makes a mistake and will be able to correct the same without adult intervention. A control of error could be any characteristic that indicates to the child that he or she has gone wrong. The adult in this case has to only initially show the child what a perfect work looks like, and later when the child performs the activity, the materials would themselves call out to the child if there is an error. If you take the case of practical life activities, it could even be a spillage on the tray while pouring, or marks that still remain on the table after cleaning, which tell the child that there is something to improve in his or her work. You can see the same in all sensorial and arithmetic activities as well. For example, this is a Montessori spindle box counting activity that I made for my son with twigs and tissue rolls. He has to count the number of twigs that goes into each roll marked with a specific number and put them in it. Now here he is only given as many number of twigs as is needed for the whole process, which means if he has one twig remaining after he finishes the activity, he'll know that there is a mistake. And many other later Montessori works have a control card which lets the child correct his own work without the help of adults. Again, this is another activity we did in the Knowledge and Understanding of the World unit for classifying fruits and vegetables. Here he doesn't need my help to check if the activity is correctly done, as I've kept a control card for him to check his work once he finishes. So I don't need to correct him every time he does this activity. This is the beauty of Montessori work. So whenever you design a Montessori activity for your child, install a control of error to make sure the child can carry it out independently. In the Montessori method, children learn by doing. It doesn't rely on the adult to be the central attraction, giving the child all the information and teaching him or her everything that we think the child has to know. The young child does not learn intellectually. He or she needs to move to learn. Movement imprints information in his or her mind. All Montessori activities will have something for the child to do in order to reach an output. For example, the child learns the shapes of the letters by not just seeing them. With the help of the sandpaper letters, he can actually move his hand while imprinting the shapes of the letters in his mind. You will rarely see any worksheets for young children in the Montessori system because the Montessori method moves from concrete to abstract learning. For example, instead of counting pictures on a paper, a Montessori counting activity will have real tangible materials for the child to count. Once the child is good at the concrete thing, you can use the abstract form of the same activity. The child is not taught the letter symbols and names first, which is an abstract concept for the child. He or she doesn't even know what these symbols mean. The concrete feature of the letters is the letter sound. A child who can talk uses the sounds on a daily basis and can easily understand that it is the sounds that make up a word. Sound games aid the child in developing this understanding. I have done a video explaining the Montessori sound games. I'll leave the link below in the description box. Montessori activities involve the use of senses to learn any concept. Children learn the best when multiple senses are involved at the same time. One good example for this would be again the Montessori sandpaper letters. Children are taught the letter symbols using these materials, where the child can feel the letter, sound it, and see it at the same time. The Montessori method emphasizes on isolation of skills. This is a feature lacking in many toys that are labeled Montessori and sold in the market. If the child is sorting shapes, have different shapes in the same color so that the focus is on the shape and not the color, and vice versa. If you are doing a counting activity, make sure all the objects that you count are of the same color and size, making it easy for the child to focus on the counting and not the color or shape of the counters. If you are playing a stacking the cups game with your child, make sure the cups are all of the same color to improve concentration. Of course, you can combine the different skills as an extension activity once the child has mastered all these skills individually. For this reason, a busy board or a busy book is not really Montessori, as they require many skills to work at the same time. Montessori materials have no irrelevant or distracting elements. Most toys that you find in the market now have many cartoon pictures and patterns over them that prevent the child from noticing the actual objective of the material. Montessori materials may appear plain and boring for this reason, but they are the ones that actually serve the purpose. Montessori toys are made from wood or metal or other natural materials. These help the child connect to the real world much better than plastic. Metal and wood provide different feelings of weight, texture, and temperature to the child in comparison to plastic, which always gives the same artificial sensation to the child. Montessori toys and activities are always based in reality. You'll not see any superheroes or fictional characters or animals wearing colorful clothes on a Montessori book or toy. The toy must have true consequences. A switch that makes a rattling sound when pressed is not exactly Montessori, but a bell that rings when shaken is Montessori. If you cut with a knife, it should slice things. Montessori toddlers are brought in touch with real materials and not the play version of these things. For this reason, a play kitchen is not exactly Montessori. A Montessori toddler would instead be invited to take part in the day-to-day kitchen activities. They are also taught to drink and pour from a glass cup or jar instead of a plastic one. The activity should be something that the child chooses for himself or herself. Yes, of course, you can take the initiative to present a new activity to the child if the child is willing to watch. But otherwise, the child should himself be able to pick the activity for spontaneous use. It shouldn't be something that is forced on the child. Most of the Montessori activities, be it practical life activities or sensorial activities, are indirectly aimed at developing concentration. They might have a direct aim of learning a particular skill, but more importantly, they are supposed to be attracting the child's attention and initiate that bit of concentration they'll very much need in the future. For example, a pouring activity might look like a very simple activity with an aim of teaching the child how to pour. But being an activity that readily attracts a child, it can get the young mind to concentrate for at least a few minutes, which is very valuable. So that was all for today. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to click the like button and share this video with your friends and family. And if you're new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.